Hi everyone, it's Jane here. Welcome back to my channel. I have got another colouring video for you today using my new OLO markers. So this is only the second image that I've coloured up with my markers. I did make a video colouring the first one, and as a kind of long-term user of Copic markers, there are some noticeable differences to me between the Copics and the OLOs. So I've talked about my initial impressions of the OLO markers in that previous video, so I'll link that up in the end at the end if you're interested in watching that. So today I'm going to be colouring up this beautiful image from Ram Stamps from Rochelle Ann Miller. This is one of two new images that have come out as part of her October release. So this is Fairy and Birdie, and this is the garden pot image. You'll be relieved to hear that I don't plan on talking over all of the colouring like I did on the previous video. So I am just going to pop some music on and let you watch the colouring process. I will pop all of the colours that I've used down in the description box below. So sit back and enjoy the colouring, and I'll join you again for the card assembly at the end. So I'm just adding a little touch of shimmer to the fairy's wings to finish this off. I think mine is a work of art pen, but you could use Wink of Stella or any shimmer pen that you have would be absolutely fine. So to finish off my card, I have got some nesting dies from Heffy Doodle. They're just rectangles, stitched rectangles with rounded corners. And I've got a lovely background die from Concord and Ninth as well. This has got leaves, which leaves a stitched detail in the background. So I'm planning on doing that on my note card. So I'm just going to run that through my die cutting machine, and I thought that would just be a nice little bit of detail. It would keep the kind of botanical and the foliage theme running through the card to go with the fairy and her little birdie friend in the flower pots. So I'm taking one of my nesting dies, which is the closest size to the scene, and I'm just going to die cut that out. And I really like the little stitched border that leaves us. But looking at it against my card base, I think there's a little bit too much room around the edges, and so I'm going to create a little green border to mat my image onto. So I've used the next size up in those nesting dies, and I've die cut that out from some green card. And then I thought what would look nice is if I ran that green card through my die cutting machine with that kind of leafy botanical die as well. So I'm putting some liquid glue on the back here, and I'm just lining up the pattern on the white card so it runs through to the green card seamlessly. So you've just got a continuation of that pattern. I'm just adding on my scene onto the green matting layer, and I think that looks really pretty. So just to finish off the card, I'm choosing a sentiment, and I've got this great set from Pretty Pink Posh which has got sentiments for all different occasions on it. So again, I'll link to that below in the description box. I've grabbed some black cardstock from my stash. I think this one is Concord at 9th, and I've given it a good dusting with some anti-static powder. Now, this is not strictly necessary as I'm going to be using WOW embossing products which have anti-static properties, but I'm always a little bit paranoid that I'm going to have oils on my fingers, and I've been handling the card, and that the embossing powder is going to stick in places that it shouldn't. So I always just give it a bit of a dust just in case. So I've inked up my stamp with the embossing ink, and I've stamped a few of those sentiments down because I don't think I got a great impression the first couple of times that I tried it. So I've just done a few there, which I'm sprinkling my embossing powder over. I'm using a super fine white powder from WOW because I've got such a small, fine little sentiment. I want to make sure that that picks up all the details. And I'm going to go for this centre one here. As you can see, I didn't get the best impression from the other two. The top one didn't stamp properly, and the bottom one I kind of pressed too hard and it blobbed out a little bit. So I'm going for that centre one because I think it looks neater. I've trimmed down my sentiment using my mini trimmer, and I'm just dusting off any excess anti-static powder that's on the card there. And my plan had been to add the sentiment so that it was coming in from the right hand side of the card, but actually I don't think that looks quite right, and I think it's because of the curved edges in the card. So what I'm doing instead is I'm just lining that sentiment up and using a pencil to mark out where the curve goes around, and I'm going to trim that down so that it will match up against that inside white layer. I'm sorry for any background noise that you can hear. My dog always decides to get his noisiest toys out when I'm either on a work call or doing the voiceover for videos. So there you go. That's being a dog owner for you. So now that I have got that sentiment with the curved edge, so it lines up nicely, I'm just going to stick that down with some liquid glue. You could use foam tape here as well, and I usually do attach my sentiments with foam tape, to be honest, but on this occasion I liked just the one layer, almost one layer nature of the card. So that finishes up my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, I will link to the other OLO colouring video, but if you enjoyed this video, do give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more inspiration. Bye.